Today, we're talking about data analyst resumes, and specifically data analyst resumes for new graduates with minimal experience. Does that sound like you? Stick around for the video to find out how to write a great data analyst resume. At the end, I'll discuss the common issue new graduates face of not having much info to put on their data analyst resume. Hi, I'm Jen. I have over 15 years of experience as a data analyst and as a hiring manager of data analysts. I want to help you write a great data analyst resume so you can start your career in analytics. When it comes to writing your data analyst resume, or really any resume for that matter, there are two key pieces that you're trying to convey. You want to have good information on your resume, and you want to be able to communicate that information effectively. Let's start out by looking at what your data analyst resume should include. There are 4 key areas of skills that every resume, when you're getting into analytics, must have, no matter your actual skill level with these different topics. First, talk about your math or statistical skills. This is the foundation for doing any sort of data analysis work. Next, if you have programming skills, talk about them. If you're applying for data analyst jobs that require any sort of programming, talk about your experience using Python, R, SAS, or any of the other programming languages. Data visualization is becoming a key standard for data analyst resumes and careers. There's actually some positions that now specialize just in data visualization. Talking about data visualization on your data analyst resume helps you communicate your own communication skills when it comes to conveying the results of your analysis work. Related to that, talk about your communication skills. Rather, show your communication skills on your resume. You're going to be doing a lot of work analyzing data, but at the end of the day, you have to communicate your results and the insights you're getting from the information to really make it actionable and valuable for the organization. For much more detail on all of these skills and to help you further develop your data analyst skills, check out my book, How to Become a Data Analyst. I've linked it in the description box below. There are certain things that hiring managers look for when they're reading any resume. Let's look specifically at what I, as a hiring manager, am looking for when I'm reading a data analyst resume that's been submitted for a job that I have open. First, I want to see the data analyst skills that you have in your work experience. Making a list of your skills and system knowledge can be somewhat helpful, but I really see as a hiring manager that you have those data analyst skills when you tell me specifically how you've used them in your work experience. Your work experience doesn't have to just be paying jobs. It could also be volunteer opportunities or internships where you applied your data analyst skills. Put those in your resume. Job descriptions may specify certain skills, but the end goal of all of them is what the impact you're going to have with those skills are. So if you tell me about your data analyst skills and your work experience, you're jumping straight to how you're going to impact me and how you're going to help my company by bringing those skills to the table. When you write about these skills in your work experience, talk about them in business terms. I'm fortunate to have a background as a data analyst, so when I'm hiring data analysts, I understand when you talk in technical terms. There are a lot of managers of data analysts that don't have any analytics background themselves though. When you're able to put your experience and your skills into business terms, this helps not only those hiring managers, but also the recruitment teams, the HR teams that are going to be looking at your resume. Plus, the reality is that when you're in the business setting, a lot of times you're going to have to simplify your communication of information and not talk in such technical terms to the rest of the business. If you can effectively talk about your data analyst skills on your resume in business terms, I have a much higher level of confidence that you're going to be able to come into the job and integrate fairly easily into the role. Another thing to keep in mind when you're communicating your skills on your resume is tell me how your data analyst skills are going to help me when you're writing your data analyst resume. It may seem like your resume is about you, and it is to an extent. It really is a snapshot of your experience and your skills and what you bring to the table. But a really well-written resume is more about the employer than it is about you. It's telling the employer, here's all the skills I bring, and here's how they fit with what you need and what you want, and how I'm going to help you as a data analyst. This means tying in the experience that you have to the experience that's desired in the job. If part of the job is going to be predicting future performance, then talk about how you've predicted something in the past. This doesn't mean that you're required to talk about predicting performance. Maybe you have experience predicting sales or the results of a marketing campaign. Talk about those. It's still prediction, and the fundamentals at the end of the day are really the same. Maybe you're thinking, this all makes sense, but none of it really matters because I don't have a lot of experience to put on my resume. So what in the world am I supposed to do? You likely have a lot more data analyst experience than you think. A lot of people that go into analytics pick that field because it's just how they're naturally wired. They like solving things. They like going from A to B to C and figuring out the logic of it. So chances are strong that you've got experience in some area of your life applying analytics. Consider jobs that you've held before, even if they're not pure analytics. Have you tutored people in the past? Have you done analytics purely out of enjoyment of the topic? Think about sports stats. That's something a lot of people are very familiar with, and it's really an aspect of analytics that you bring to the table, even if it's not specifically in your job. Think about projects you've done in school. A lot of colleges require a capstone project before graduation. Was yours in any way related to analytics? Can you make a connection to analytics? Even if it's not a degree in math or statistics or computer science, a lot of capstone projects have to do with analyzing information. Even if you're an English major, you probably analyzed different documents and looked for common themes or common structures in that work. What about other projects in school? Maybe you did something for a class. The key here is just find any way that you've had practical application of analytic skills that you can communicate to the hiring manager on your data analyst resume. Let me know in the comments if you've thought of any other unique ways to link in data analyst skills that you have. If you're not coming up with any examples or you feel like they're just not enough, check out that How to Become a Data Analyst book, because I cover in detail how specifically to get analytics experience that you can then use on your resume and that will help build up your skills. Employers aren't expecting you to have a lot of experience if you're going into an entry-level position. They want to know what experience you do have, so they want to see something, but don't feel like you need to show 15 years of experience for an entry-level position. This video is focused specifically on skills for your data analyst resume, but something else you'll want to keep in mind is applicant tracking systems. And that really relates to where I mentioned earlier that you want to connect your experience with what the employer wants. I'll link to a video on applicant tracking systems so you can learn more about how they work and how they can either really help you or really hurt you when you're applying for a job. If you're not quite sure if analytics is the right field for you, or you're not sure what direction you want to take your analytics career, check out my quiz on analytics careers. Answer 9 questions and I'll recommend what career path makes the most sense based on your skills, experience, and interests. If you like this video and found it helpful, consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.